Hi everybody, my name is Dr. Chris Furlow and I am the clinic manager for the Canopy Autism Early Intervention Clinics in the Jackson area. Today I wanted to help families of children with autism with a question that I think is on everyone's minds, and that is, I am afraid of regression that now that my child isn't able to participate in daily ABA therapy. So what should I do? First, I'd like to point out that I'm going to ask everyone to be kind to yourself and give yourself some grace. And I can't stress the importance of this point enough, since our parents are parents, we're human, we're not highly trained technical behavior therapists, so you should be allowed to feel like a parent, especially during this unprecedented time that we're experiencing with coronavirus and COVID-19. The second recommendation that I have to answer this question is a little bit more of a general one, but a super important one nonetheless, and that is positive interactions with our kids should be our top priority. So carve out time in your day to have the most positive interactions you possibly can with your child. And what I mean by this is that this should be 100% child-led. This is their time. They get to pick the activity. They get to play the way they want to. And basically your whole role during this time in that you've carved out of your day is to try and figure out a way to become a part of it, no matter what it is. There are some specific ways that you can go about doing this. So letting them pick the activity, figuring out what it is that they want to do. Even if they bounce from one thing to the other, just follow them around and see what it is that they want to play with. Describe what it is that they want, that they're doing, what it is they're watching, even if it's a video or a video game or something like that. Be a part of it and describe what it is that they're watching. Sing along. If it's a super simple song video on YouTube, if it's Minecraft, talk about what they're building. If it's Play-Doh activities and arts and crafts and things like that, be very descriptive with what it is that they're making and doing and coloring. Kitchen sets, all those sorts of things. You want to describe what it is that they're doing. This is paramount for our kids with language deficits, that we inundate them with new and different ways to describe things in their environment. And you're doing so in a positive way. You're becoming a part of that activity. The next thing kind of falls into an imitation category. So if you've ever heard imitation is the sincerest form of flattery, this is what I'm talking about. So for our kids who don't really talk a whole lot, or for even kids who do talk a lot, you want to make sure that you're repeating what it is that they're saying. That it kind of almost sounds like you're affirming that you heard them in the first place. You don't necessarily have to repeat them word for word, but at least acknowledge that they said something. Second part is imitating what they're doing. So if they're engaged in an arts and crafts activity and there are enough materials, do something similar or do something different, but at least be engaged in a very similar activity. If they're playing Legos, build a tower just like they do, or build a castle, or something very slightly different. But you're imitating what it is that they're playing. And then finally, probably one of the most important things in terms of positive attention and interactions is making sure that we're finding ways to praise our kids. Even if it's something that you feel like, man, they do this all the time, I don't really feel like I should tell them a good job or praise them for that. But the point is that you're finding a time and finding something that they're doing that is good and right, and you're praising them for it, and you're having some sort of positive attention attached to that. Sometimes a simple high five, a fist bump, a way to go, that was really good independent seat work that you did. You sat through that whole Zoom meeting and you made it. That was awesome. That all can go a really long way. And the reason why I say all these things and why I place so much emphasis on these positive interactions that is absolutely, hands down, the way our clinicians operate. This is top priority. If we can't have positive interactions with our kids, suddenly we can find ourselves equating ourselves with work and not so positive interactions. So why would we expect our kids to come and try and do the things that we have laid out for them that may be that much more challenging? It's going to be difficult to get the work and the skills that we're trying to teach them done. If we're not having fun, if the kid's not having fun, and we're not enthusiastic about it, and the kid's not enthusiastic about it, why on earth would we ever expect them to do the things that's way more difficult? Beyond what I've just recommended, I believe the answer to this question is probably about as diverse as the children that we have on the autism spectrum. So are these regressions that we're experiencing, is it language acquisition, communication skills, is it behavior problems, is it feeding, toileting, a whole host of different things that could be popping up? And so the next recommendation that I have is, please make sure that the lines of communication that you have with your licensed behavior analyst is wide open. We don't get to see them nearly as much as we did before the pandemic and social distancing took effect. So if we have these open and honest conversations with each other, and we get an idea of what it is that's happening and what you're experiencing on a day-to-day in your home, we can begin to monitor these things a little bit more closely and develop an individualized, specific plan to try and help combat some of the regression that you may be faced with. I know this is a scary and unprecedented time for everybody, and especially for our families and children with autism. But I want you to know that our autism team at Canopy is here to help in any way that we possibly can. Please make sure to take care of yourself and stay safe. Bye.